What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches, back with another video. You guys, this is how my client came into me. All right, we did a pedicure, acrylic toes on her big toes last month. This is what's actually up under there, okay? I'll explain to you exactly what happened. And of course, you know I hooked her up, right? This is exactly how she left here. I did polish over, which I didn't show the final polish result. But just know she has some pink polish on top, okay? So before we get started, make sure you check the description for all my coupon codes, my Amazon storefront. Follow me on social media to keep up with all of my posts. I'm in Sacramento, California for those who want to book. And of course, subscribe and click the notifications on. And for those of you who are watching, today is Monday, August 14th. And in 6 days, I will actually be giving an advanced education workshop on acrylic overlays, August 20th at noon in my hometown, Sacramento, California. You guys can still get tickets for those of you who are in the NorCal area, or honestly, even if you want to come and you're from Southern California, doesn't matter. Hopefully I'll see you guys there, okay? So first thing is first, I wanted to kind of show you guys in comparison the other foot that you guys saw what she came in with the white polish, because this isn't the one that's like broke down. So this side, I kind of, like I said, oh my god, you guys, I'm sorry. Damn, okay. So basically I'm kind of poking and prodding because I did give her a pedicure and we are only doing acrylic on her big toes. Now she did not book a reconstruction, but oh, thank you. Okay, thank you for the water. She didn't book a reconstruction, but I was still able to hook her up anyways. Now this toe, you can see all that discoloration. There's no fungal infection or anything like that. Y'all see how like chipped and stuff her toenails were? I was like, did you drop something or did you kick against something? And she always says, like, you know, I am a very, very hard person, like, you know, on my feet, on my hands, on my nails. She is a volleyball mom. She used to play volleyball. Like, she's just a more naturally like heavy-handed type person. So she's like, honestly, yeah, I most likely did kick my toenail up not paying attention. So that's what the discoloration is for. So I'm showing you guys this toenail first so you guys can see in comparison how I'm dealing with this, you know, toenail versus the other ones. We're not doing any acrylic on any of the other toes. That's just going to be regular polish. So for those of you who want to book this service, this is going to be a reconstruction big toe acrylic pedicure because the other toenail needs a reconstruction, okay? And of course big toe because we're doing the big toe, acrylic because it's acrylic, pedicure because I gave a pedicure first. So when people's toenails are pretty much fully intact in the sense of like there's not really much work to do, I pretty much take one bead and I'm going to use the brunt of that bead to, you know, spread the love and just literally overlay it up. Now that corner was kind of missing, so I did go ahead and fill that in with this one bead, and honestly it works just like that. It's pretty easy. Once I kind of mold and shape how I need to be, it's gonna set, and then I'm just gonna put a small bead in there for the cuticle area. The more toenail that somebody has, honestly, the less acrylic that you need, because remember, this is toenails and this is an overlay. We don't really need like a full-on apex like when we're using nail tips. You should not be using nail tips on toenails, and if you are, you need to cut it the hell out, because honestly 90% of injuries happen because somebody has a tip on a toenail, and there should not be a tip on the toenail. So you guys can see I work with people's natural length that they have going on already. Only a piece of the toenail was kicked up as far as like actually being off, so I wouldn't consider that a reconstruction, but I did kind of need to piece that together, and so that's what you guys are watching me do. Now, the way I'm able to do this is because my ratio of liquid to powder is just wet enough that I can, like, you know, spread it all around, but dry enough that it dries quickly and I'm able to mold it as I need it so that acrylic isn't going all everywhere. You guys see me cleaning up the underneath, shaping it so it follows the natural line of a toenail. What people do not realize is that you don't need it too thick on the tip of the toenail, because that can also cause an injury if you're not careful. You really want the natural curve of the toenail to follow their natural curvature of what somebody might naturally have. All right, okay, so I apologize for being gone so long. I know it's only been probably like a week, but well, I did have a sore throat for a little bit because I slept with the window open. I think I told you guys that. Then after that, I kind of was getting back into it, and then my computer storage was acting up. I made a post saying that yeah, my internal memory, you guys already know the spiel, blah 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 blah. So anyways, here we are getting back into the groove, and hopefully hopefully we don't have any more issues come up. Okay, so here you guys can see me kind of going in a fast motion, basically filling in that cuticle bead. You guys saw how small it was. It's literally just enough to make sure there's enough strength to hold this enhancement up. Okay, we don't want nothing that looks all clunkety clunk, because that the more like thickness and clunkiness there is, the higher the chances that if something kicks up, you're gonna take your whole toenail. All right, so here we go. This is the toenail that needs a reconstruction, and you can see, honey, there's hardly nothing there. You guys are probably wondering, Peaches, what the fuck happened? And this client came to me like what, 3.5 months ago now, 3 months, and she got her nails done at, you know, the regular shops, chop shop. And apparently they used acrylic on her when she was unaware, and so she went home and started just clipping it off, and they wouldn't remove it, so she decided to remove it. And luckily I had an opening, and she basically came in here and was like, please, I need help. So it was shorter than this. It is growing out some, and so basically what I'm doing is making sure everything is nice and dry, getting rid of any extra skin in the cuts. Well, okay, in the sidewalls. If you don't know what in the cuts means, that means like, you know, in the cuts, like in the background, hidden, whatever. I do this even after the pedicure, even after I've already pedicured everything. Sometimes stuff likes to stick, and when things are dried, it will further reveal itself. I'm cleaning underneath here. Again, she don't have no fungus, no anything like that, but this particular toenail is also kicked up from the nail bed as well. Typically people who don't have much nail going on, it's very easy for it to get either while it was injured, it got separated from the nail bed, or the way it's growing back is going to grow separated from the nail bed. Now, I have no idea what her nail looks like pre-injury, because there was so little when she first came here. So I can't tell you what's going to happen to it, how it's going to grow back. I don't know. It is growing though, which is good. But like I said, she clipped off all the acrylic, which led to her clipping off her real nail as well in the process, because she was just in such a hurry to like, I need this off. And unfortunately, now she's dealing with the consequences. So in a reconstruction, you really need to get all up in the little crevices. You need to prep really well. First things first, you need to have some nail. Okay, I've been sent pictures and people ask questions, can I get a reconstruction if I have no nail at all? The answer is fucking no. Fuck no. Okay, you have to have some nail, or there's nothing for it to stick to. There's no way I can prep. Those steps I wouldn't be able to do. All right, so of course she does have protein bond on. Don't forget to prep and prime appropriately. And then even though there is nail, right, it's kind of bumped up. So what I have to do in situations like these is, me personally, I like to put acrylic at the edge, and I'm going to start to build down from there and basically use the brunt of the acrylic to build out the nail, because in the end I am going to use acrylic to kind of go over this initial section, and it will strengthen it up. Now, unfortunately for me, things didn't go as smoothly as what you guys normally see here on my channel. So you guys are going to see, I don't want to say like I'm struggling a bit, but it's just not going perfectly. I did not get enough of a big bead. But you guys know me, I'm not in the business of wasting products and wasting beads. So I just kind of worked with what I had, and I'm about to, sorry babe, I'm about to go in with a bigger bead. So while it's still wet, I'm going in with a big enough bead that I feel like will combine with what's already here. And this is still not big enough, so you guys are going to see me going a third time. Normally I get one bead that's just big enough. I stick it on the very tip of what toenail is there, and then I go ahead and as it's drying down some, I'm able to pat it into place, as you guys can see, and that's going to make the tip of the enhancement. Now, what's difficult for people is how to get the enhancement to look natural enough that it's not just literally a lump on the nail. That's what I see is hard for people, as well as to get a shape that follows the natural side walls, but it's like you can't see them. You just kind of have to envision with your mind and follow the line that's already there. So as you can see, she does have at least like basically almost half the toenail is grown in, and so I have some lines to kind of follow. Okay, and because the other toenail I just did, I typically have a pretty good sense of like depth perception, to where like I can kind of remember like, okay, this is where it needs to be on that side. I just did that toenail, so let's just pretty much repeat it. So you can kind of see I'm pretty much flattening out the acrylic, patting it down, and now you see like, okay, the length is there, the shape is getting there, but if you glance from the side, you can see, okay, well, Peaches, what the hell? Because it's very lumpity bumpity humpty dumpty. Okay, the base is still very much thick and the acrylic is very thin. Do not stress. This used to kind of worry me back when I first started doing more reconstructive things, and I was getting people who were like, oh, please help. The thing is, sometimes you have to do certain things in stages depending on the thickness. I 100% do not agree when techs just obliterate someone's nail down to nothing. They file it down to nothing, or they cut it down to as least nail as possible to make it look as flat as possible. You guys, the reason I don't agree with that, and actually I'm gonna tell you in a second. So typically, because this is on the tip, I don't want this to be flat on the tip. I want it to have a little bit of like not air underneath. I need a little bit of something underneath. But as you guys can see, it wasn't dry enough. So here I am trying to make it dry a little bit more. The reason I'm doing that is because if I go to file and it's like literally flat against the nail, it's gonna kind of mess up the final result. Even though this isn't like the last part of the acrylic I'm gonna lay, I still need to make sure that it's not just flat over the toenail, you know, because then there's not gonna be any type of like airflow or anything. It's going to be literally stuck down to their skin. If they need to clean underneath, or if there's a problem, they won't be able to get to it. So next, I go ahead, I fill in the cuticle area. You can see I'm using literally as little acrylic as possible, because that area doesn't even need to get built up at all, right? We just need enough acrylic so that way we can blend stuff down. Okay, if you use a little bit too much, it's okay, it can get filed away later, but just make sure it's flush around the skin. All right, and then at that point, I'm gonna go in with the final bead towards the tip, which you guys are gonna see, and I'm gonna blend all 3 sections. So we started at the tip of the toenail of whatever we have, right? We made a layer, basically like a base layer. Like if you're on Photoshop, how they have like literally layer 0, we laid the groundwork, okay? And then we went ahead and put something in the cuticle area so we can see what's about to happen. And then what you guys are about to see is me putting on that last final layer, right? Everything else is gonna be underneath. Here I am with that last final layer, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put that on, and you're gonna see everything is gonna smooth and blend out, and all the little imperfections are kind of gonna smooth away. However, this is looking like it's gonna be like a lot of acrylic, but you have to realize we are blending basically nothing into something, right? Because we made this from literally scratch. There's no way you're gonna be able to use like a nail tip to do this. I mean, I guess you can try forms, but honestly, you guys, I feel like this is just the best method. This works for me. I feel like it gives the most natural result, and as it grows out, I can keep track of what's, you know, there to be reconstructed. So we're gonna follow that the best we can, and I'm gonna continue talking about why do I not agree with taking away what's there. I feel like reconstruction should be restorative. I don't work over fungus or anything like that. I'm gonna get to that in the next clip. And I do not agree with cutting away what somebody already has, because if you don't know, for a toenail to grow in from scratch, let's say you have pretty much little to none, it can take up to a year, and that's on the like average side. Okay, that does not include people who have issues growing slowly, or people who have like stunted growth or anything like that. Okay, you can see that's pretty much application is done. Really quickly, I'm gonna file the cuticle area with the e-file. We want to close that up, and then you guys are gonna watch me shape this. Now I do go in afterwards, you guys aren't gonna see this, and I do I need to add acrylic to that left side, because for some reason I feel like that it's not following a straight line of the sidewall, and it looks a little funny, so I kind of go back and do that. So that's what this is all about. So if you cut away what someone naturally has and they already have stunted growth, or they're in the process of regrowing something that's there, and you cut it away just to make it look super flat and super, you know, toe BBL and blah blah blah, you guys, it's pretty much taking away someone's growth. There's no way that you can control what someone has, how something's going to grow back. And so just because somebody has thickened toenails, or toenails that grow left, right, loop-de-loop, up, down, side, whatever, their growth pattern is their growth pattern, okay? It's gonna grow back that same way every time. So as they're growing back the reconstructions or whatever it is that you're doing, there's no way that these are gonna grow out properly to be able to be maintained properly. You see what I'm saying? So if you continuously just cut away someone's toenail or file it down to shreds, it's kind of compromising what's already there. And I am not a person that likes to compromise what my clients have. I like to enhance what they have and help them feel more confident, but ultimately it's health before everything, okay? Now, the reason why I say I do not do acrylics over fungus, and you guys can see I'm kind of looking at the sidewalls because I'm like, you know, what the hell? All this dust that you see, if she did have a fungal infection, all of this dust would be enabling the infection to spread. So for those of you who don't know, a fungal infection is not something that's like, okay, just stays on the nail, or okay, like, yeah, maybe if someone else touches it, it might get to them, it might not. No, it's all the way down to the spores, bacterial spores, fungal spores. It can spread through dust, okay? So this is why I strongly advise against enhancements on top of fungus, because it's not doing anything about the fungus. Just because you file it all away and you throw your implements away, there's nothing you can do about all this dust in your towels that's spreading all over the floor on other tools. Even if someone says they throw everything away, you guys, there's no way to get rid of all of this. It's to a microscopic level is what I'm trying to say. All right, so please just be careful in regards to that, right? Now, as far as filing, you guys can see it's not a hard it's honestly not hard. Follow the sidelines that's there, the sidewalls that's there. File until it's smooth and even enough that it looks as natural as possible for that person, but also so it's not too clunky. And basically all of that underneath that we were struggling with, we are pretty much going to take our time, and as we file it down to the correct length, you will basically expose the new how do I explain it, the underneath that dang, you guys, this is a really hard thing to explain, and I'm not showing it. But either way, you guys pretty much get the gist of it. It might take a little bit of time, but sit there and work with it. Now, I'm not saying it has to take like 2.5 hours or anything like that. If it does, it does. If you're able to speed it along and, you know, pick up your pace to like strengthen your skills, that's absolutely great as well. But all in all, hopefully this helped you guys who are struggling with reconstructions, especially down at the basic level. It is something that does take practice and skill, and I hope this video encourages you to kind of work with what people have, you know. Of course, this is the final result of this particular toenail. That's what it pretty much looks like. Of course, I didn't show it polished. I wanted you guys to be able to see everything. And this is the other toenail that we did at the beginning. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. You better hurry up and say what you want to say.
'Cause she's the greatest nail tech in the universe.
And I'll see you guys next time.